Chapter 5. One more step to become stronger. The punishment was finished and the feeling of the refreshed me. I returned from the passage to the hall. By the way, I left Goron like a tattered dust cloth, and that guy has no will and stamina to fight anymore. The astounding resilience had completely disappeared and I wasn't worried about being attacked, since I implanted trauma into him firmly. For example, he can attack if he recovers, but when I returned back to the hall, I discovered the nobles who were being held hostage immediately. They were still unconscious, but they were Hart and Merluza for certain, right? In any case, it can be said that it was lucky they still survived after meeting with horrific murderers. There were dozens of perceived reactions coming here, while I examined by using search. Perhaps it was the garrison whom Vile Sensei arranged. I arranged them to the wall in advance, so that the nobles can be saved by the garrison. Furthermore, I confirmed the condition of the 3 people whom I defeated. The Golden Wolf and Dwarf have already died, but I don't feel guilty, not even a little. They murdered people horribly, so it's only natural to be killed, and this is karma too. Be prepared to be killed when you kill a person. I said that to my disciples in my previous existence, but I haven't said that yet to my current disciples. The Dwarf and Golden Wolf were killed boldly in front of them, so I should tell them about that soon. The human male is still alive and he is taken by the garrison while spouting various curses. As a matter of fact, Goron was tortured way too much and it's doubtful whether he can testify or not. I intend to have this guy act as a substitute. Since a blood-stained rope was found from the man that had been tied up, I restricted him firmly with a crescent-shaped pose. Those guys were using it as plaything, and that the person himself got tricked. Won't that be a foolish story? I will leave the matter of the remaining dead bodies and after measures to someone else. After I was done with those things, I went towards my disciples. Sirius Sama, Emilia, Sirius San, Reese. Emilia and Reese went to meet me when I returned to them, but Royce seemed to have lost consciousness and remained lying down. There is blood-stained. Are you injured anywhere, Reese? This is blood from those guys. Since I don't have any injuries, please be relieved. Sirius. Is it over, Emilia? AAA, everything is over. By the way, is Royce alright? Sirius. He was up until a while ago and then he lost consciousness. Peaceful. Since the temporary treatment has been completed, it is fine for him to quietly take a rest. Emilia. When I touched Royce and used scan, the cracked ribs were restored considerably. To be able to do it in short time and with less mana. Her talent for treatment is really splendid. Is that so? It's bad to get tired here, so let's leave the labyrinth quickly. Reese, can you walk? Sirius. I'm alright, if it's just walking, I can do it. Reese. Alright. Emilia, return back the robe because I will be piggybacking you. Sirius. Just a little bit more. Emilia. No, don't worry about that, just return it. That blood-stained cloth can't be cleaned, don't you agree? Sirius. Alright, Emilia. Why is the way she returned it? She looked disappointed. The robe was full of dust and it was dirty. Royce was held on my chest and I carried Emilia on my back supported with string, and we began to walk. I chose a different way by returning to the passage where I came in, in order to avoid from meeting the garrisons who were coming here. Sirius San, how about those 2 nobles? Reese. You can be relieved because the garrisons are coming soon. We should escape before being discovered. Sirius. We were being protected too by someone and that person ran away. Sirius. It's slight explanation how they were beat, isn't it? We met these terrible killers and we ran away, while we had become so worn out. And then, the terrible killers were attacked by someone. It will be fine, with that kind of story. Sirius. It is certain to become troublesome, if the news about how the terrible killers were defeated to spread. If we remain silent, then there will be no evidence, and the case will close naturally and be left in the dark. Oh, but there was a man who had been bound. It should be all right to leave Goran, but that fellow may confess something unnecessary. But, oh well, it is unbelievable for a child to win against 4 adult opponents, and I think that guy won't say that he got defeated by child opponent because his pride will stop him. Nevertheless, it's all right if I just feign ignorance. We continued walking silently for a while. Reese walks slowly for certain, and since Amelia at the back occasionally rubs her cheek against the back of my head, so it tickles. And then, when we returned to the 5th floor, Reese seemed bit sorry and began to talk. Well, isn't it heavy? I can lend my shoulder to Amelia because I have rested a little too. Reese. Well, it is surely heavy. But, this is the proof of life. I want to feel it properly since it is the proof that these two being alive. Sirius. It had been a while for me to have snap after a long time. When I snapped out, the opponent's lives has been taken away, and even though I'm already used to it, I don't feel good. During that time, I calmed down when I came into contact with the disciples. I was feeling relieved. After, I felt their pulse from their hands and the back of the body. And Amelia, I'm not sure whether you were deeply moved, but stop biting my shoulder. While I'm troubled with such behavior, Reese pulled the hem of my cloth, and when I looked back, Reese was looking at me with worried look. How can you be so strong? Although someone was just killed. Reese. Did you know? Sirius. The spirits of water told me. That Wolfkin and Dwarf are already, they can't be saved. Reese. Is that so? Are you afraid of a murderer like me? Sirius. I don't know. Even though you fought to protect us, even though we should be grateful, what should I do? Reese. While the hem was squeezed strongly, Reese had conflicted feeling. While I was thinking of words that I should say, Amelia extended her hand and put her hand on Reese's shoulder. You know, Reese, there is no need to think deeply. Aren't you the same like Sirius Sama? Amelia. Same. That's impossible. As for me, who almost got killed with everyone, I am a coward who still can't kill a person. Reese. And then, she talked about the situation like she wanted to vomit. Although, she said she would fight, she hesitated in front of Goran. Amelia got hurt because of that. She had rough breathing after letting out her confession. So, I'm not the same like Sirius San. It's just because I'm a coward. Reese. If that's the case, why didn't Reese run away? Why did you say you'll fight with us? Amelia. That is because you and Royce-kun are important and, it is like a family. Reese. Sirius Sama, what would you do if we said we wanted you to run away in the case of meeting strong enemy? Amelia. I would not escape. I decided to fight together. Sirius. See, it's the same. Sirius Sama is going along together with Reese, so it's the same. Amelia. But, Reese. Well, Reese, it is fine to be a coward, you know. As a result, I happen to be troubled with killing people easily for the first time. Sirius. In the future, if Reese became someone who laughs while killing people, I would give in without a direction. She is smiling when healing people, and that look is the best look for a girl. For us, the most important thing is to be honest, and for people with common sense we don't want to change that. As for me, your lives are more important compared to those guys. And since, those guys were murderers who enjoyed taking lives from people, I killed them without hesitation. But still, if you can't forgive me, it's not a problem even if you want to quit being my disciple. It is because I don't have right to stop you. Sirius. That is not it. It is very comfortable to stay near everyone and I don't want to leave. But if there is such thing again, I won't be hesitated. Reese. Is that so? It is not about being afraid of me, she certainly can't forgive herself for being a coward. Even if a person is killed, I proceeded without hesitation, I am something that can't be looked dazzlingly. Reese, you are not me. It still can't be helped even by imitating me. Reese, you have your own way. Isn't that so, Amelia? Quote exclamation mark, quote exclamation mark, quote exclamation mark, quote. But, what should I do? Reese. That is something that even I or anyone else can't decide. Therefore, it's worrying. You may consult with others, but you will certainly find the answer yourself. Even if you regret, then in that case, you can continue to walk straight ahead. Amelia. Would that be possible? Reese. As for Reese, you can do it. Besides, you have Amelia and us. I will say it, no matter how wrong it is. Serious. Thank you, Reese. Reese put her head on my shoulder and cried quietly. Honestly, I should lend my chest to her, but it is impossible in this condition while carrying these two. I would like to leave the labyrinth as quickly possible, but I have no choice but to wait until she calms down. Oohoo, Amelia. Oi Amelia, stop walking while biting my shoulder. Serious. Foo-foo, I want to behave like a spoiled child, you know, surely. Amelia. Let's stop carrying her on my back, next time. My shoulder seems to be getting bitten, sometimes. When I finally exited the labyrinth, in front of the labyrinth was a crowd of people. Most of them were armed guards, a prohibition rope was set up to all entrances, and several people were on watch to prevent people from entering by mistake. Naturally, we stood out since we came out from the labyrinth. Nevertheless, since I am carrying a wounded person, they would probably think of something. Serious-kun, Magna. While I drew the attention of everyone, Magna-sensei sprang out from the crowd and came over in front of me. Are you safe? It doesn't seem anything happened. Would you explain the situation? Magna. Before that, please take care Royce and Amelia. I did some emergency measures, but they are still injured. Serious. Understood, let's bring them immediately to the school's treatment room. You, over there, please prepare a stretcher. Magna. I put Royce on the stretcher, which was brought over by the instructions of Magna-sensei, and when I wanted to put down Amelia next, who was on my back, she clung to my neck and refused to get down. Amelia, come down. Serious. Just a little bit more. Amelia. You can't. You are injured, so you need to receive proper treatment. Serious. But, Amelia. I don't like a bad child, who doesn't want to listen, you know. Serious. I'll come down. Amelia. Hey, come down slowly. Serious. Since she came down in a hurry, she had hard time to dropping down while not shaking her head. Since she's looking earnestly when I put her down on the stretcher, I said while patting her head. I will visit you later, so go take a rest. Serious. Yes, Reese. Reese, I want you to go together with her since I'm going to go explain things. After all, you are tired, right? Serious. Understood. That child doesn't seem to look anxious. Reese. While Reese smiled wryly, she followed those two who were being carried out to the school's treatment room. Phew, like this, I can feel relieved. When I saw them off while blowing out breath of relief, Magna-sensei, who stood nearby, was laughing. This is the first time to see Amelia behave like a spoiled child. Magna. Please, say that you didn't see it coming. Serious. But, it was very childlike and a very good expression. So, may I ask for an explanation? Magna. Understood. After that, I went off immediately to the labyrinth, and when I finally arrived at the 9th floor, I met the dragon's fresh blood. Serious. I explained the lie that I thought up before coming back to Magna-sensei. I came across dragon's fresh blood, but they had been already neutralized, and the signs of the intense battle remained on the 9th floor. I discovered the disciples who were still alive while investigating the area and came back immediately for the treatment of injury. That's the contents, I said. Neutralized, is it? Do they not know what happened? Magna. It seemed that they met and fought with dragon's fresh blood, but they had all fainted. And when they recovered from consciousness, the enemies were already neutralized. Serious. So they don't know the cause, huh? I am waiting for the investigation since I already dispatched the investigative team from the garrisons. Is there anything else to be reported? Magna. The nobles, Hart and Merluza are safe but their attendants. Serious. Is that so? It is a delightful matter that those two are safe, but the students who had become a sacrificed is very regrettable. Magna. I'm sorry, but will you report it to Vile-sensei when you get back to the school? He is probably in my room. Magna. Will this be all right if I talk about this to Vile-sensei? Serious. Yes. Honestly, I want to go there but I can't leave, since there is an investigation going on here. Therefore, I want Sirius-kun who was at the actual spot to explain it directly. Magna. Understood, I will go and talk to him since there is a matter that I want to hear about. Serious. Yes, thank you, Magna. Magna-sensei has begun to give instructions to investigation team at the back and I ran towards school to chase the disciples. I came back to school and went to Magna-sensei's room immediately. I stood in front of the room and was about to knock but the door was opened before I did anything and I met Vile-sensei. I was invited inside and Vile-sensei had started to prepare the tea himself, and it was put in front of me who sat on the sofa. I am not on par with Magna-sensei but I also enjoyed doing this, you know. How does it taste, Rodwell, Vile? The steaming wasn't enough for even a little bit but the flavor of the tea leaves permeated in my mouth and it was delicious. Besides, there are various things in it and since my throat was feeling thirsty, this was just about right. Yes, it is delicious. So, I came here to explain situation that happened in the labyrinth, right? Serious. Yes, please, Rodwell, Vile. After that, I started to tell the details that I told to Magna-sensei to Vile-sensei. But for him, I explained in detail concerning Royce and Amelia's injuries, and the survivor of Dragon's Fresh Blood. When I finished the brief explanation, Vile-sensei lowered his head before saying anything. Let me apologize first. The result of previous investigation, it has been confirmed that Gregory invited those murderers. Your disciples got injured because of our school's teacher, I am very sorry. Rodwell, Vile. Where is Gregory? Serious. He is not in school and we have sent guards to his house. Since it is a matter of time before he gets caught, so please leave it to us. Rodwell, Vile. Entrust it, is that all right? Serious. To do such thing, it really is a mess, what kind of rotten upper nobles is that? If you handle this poorly, I may not be able to protect you, so please bear with this. Rodwell, Vile. Understood, Serious. I thought that I wanted to charge towards Gregory's office immediately after this was over, but since he said to this extent, I won't do it. I'll stop from doing anything underhanded. It's also the first time to see Vile-sensei's being angry, and that's another reason why I thought to stop from doing it. Our limit has been overreached. Those two survivors of Dragon's Fresh Blood will be questioned and the evidence to denounce Gregory will be obtained. He is not a teacher anymore since he is a criminal. Rodwell, Vile. A teacher is an admirable person but is he degrading to be a criminal day by day? To say that a beastkin is foolish, but the person himself is the most foolish. Thank you for the explanation. I will be around. If there is anything else, I will inform it. Rodwell, Vile. Yes. I'm saved, because I'm worried about my disciples' conditions. Serious. You really cherish them. Rodwell, Vile. Yes, because they are my dear disciples. Serious. I smiled lightly and I exited from the office. I came to the medical treatment room. Amelia and Royce were brought to the sick bed since the treatment for them has already been completed and I was told to knock the door. Yes, Sirius-san. Reese. It was Reese who had opened the door, and she smiled as soon as seeing my appearance. I have come to see how things are going. Is it all right to enter? Sirius. Yes, it's all right. Amelia, Sirius-san has come. Reese. Really? Amelia. Judging from the voice, it seems Amelia has recovered mostly. When I entered the room, Amelia sat on the bed and she had a smile on her face. How's your condition, Sirius? My head is a bit dizzy, but I'm fine already. Amelia. Is that so? But, since being careless is most dangerous, you will rest here quietly today. Sirius. Such thing is. I haven't finished cleaning Diamond Cottage yet, and the preparation for dinner. Amelia. Amelia had a look like it's the end of the world, but she softened down when I patted her head. Since both cleaning and preparing dinner can be done tomorrow, go take a rest. Or, do you want me to order you? Sirius. Yes, understood, Amelia. Amelia had to consent despite being unwilling. Reese watched that scene with wry smile, then she opened the door and went out from the room. I will go and see Royce-kun. Reese. Reese went out from the room while saying it quietly with a smile. Oh dear, she can read the air nicely, but I don't need that last smile. It became just the two of us, Amelia and I. There is no one else around since it's already late in the evening. I stroked her head once again while looking into Amelia's face. By the way, Reese has gone away. Do you have anything to say? Sirius. Sirius-sama, Amelia. She made sudden warped expression and jumped into my chest by tackling me hard. Despite of telling not to move unreasonably, what an impatient child. I was scared. Royce is, as though seeing mother again, thinking that an important person would disappear, wah. Amelia. As for Amelia behaving abnormally like a child, she had to deceive people while not expressing that feeling. The scene of losing her mother before her eyes is a deep wound which can't be healed yet for her. This time, she had been in a situation that reminded me of that, and she endured desperately to survive even if she wanted to cry. She continued to endure in order not to show how weak she was in front of Royce and Reese, and she collapsed when it was only the two of us are here. I thought I couldn't see Sirius-sama again, but those two were holding up. I am glad that Royce is safe. I am glad Reese is safe. To be patted again, by Sirius-sama, I am glad. Amelia. Her words were incoherent when leaking free her emotions. But, that is fine. To be stimulated by a trauma and continuously enduring it, I have to react properly to her feelings. I embraced Amelia closely, while I pat her dearly and slowly. You did well. Those two are completely safe. It was all because of Amelia held up. Sirius. But, I collapsed for the whole time. I wasn't able to see how Royce fought desperately. Amelia. That was because of your words at the beginning, to protect Reese? This way, everyone can return safely and I am happy. Sirius. Sirius-sama, me too. Amelia. I remember the night when I got Amelia's trust several years ago. That time, she was merely sobbed and I simply soothed her. But now it's different. After having crying for a while, she wiped her tears and looked up at me. This time for sure, I will protect. In order to stand and push such matter aside, I will become strong. Amelia. You mean while being my servant? It will be harder than before. Sirius. I will endure no matter how hard it is. Even so, it is because I can't bear by simply just looking and can't do anything. Amelia. She grew up again. With that powerful gaze, she surely can be strong. I'm looking forward to future. You have said it well, Amelia. As your master, I am happy. Sirius. Really? Then, I have one more request. Amelia. What? Say it, Sirius. Can we stay like this, a little bit more? Amelia. It can't be helped, Sirius. I replied to her request by embracing her, and she drew close to me with a relief expression. Since she had begun to make calm breathing noise of a sleeping person after a while, I put her on the bed and I went out of the room quietly. Ah, Sirius-san. How was Emilia? Reese. Immediately after I went out of the room, Reese was returning from Roy's direction. It appears that she was holding flowers that she picked outside in her hands, probably it is for the visit. Ah, she is fine already. She is sleeping calmly right about now. Sirius. That's good. Royce has woken up some time ago too, and you can talk to him if you go now. Reese. Yeah, I'm going to go talk a little bit too. By the way, don't you call Royce with Kun honorifics? Sirius. I call Royce with Kun honorifics until a while ago because of formality. If I don't seize this opportunity myself, that I was just calling him with Kun honorific. Therefore, I'm going to take this opportunity from today on by calling a name without honorific. Reese. Royce will permit it that much. That fellow talks friendly with exception to enemies, but there are only several people who take it sincerely. You became one of them. Sirius. Royce holds several people dearly, Emilia and I, and then Noelle and Dee. And Reese is newly added to the list. When she heard about this, she smiles joyfully. Is that so? Foo-foo, I'm happy. Reese. Ah, you can be proud too. Well then, I have business with Royce. Sirius. Yes. Please cheer up Royce. Reese. And after talking to Reese, I went to Royce's sick room that was bit further away. Aniki. You came, Royce. Royce laid down on the bed with bandages wrapped around his arms and chest, but he seemed to be very energetic. Since the moment I came into the room, the tension was high and his eyes were sparkling, and he doesn't want to look away from me. He doesn't appear to be like an injured person. Is the injury all right? Sirius. Such injuries will be healed immediately. Leaving that aside, Aniki is the strongest after all. We were not able to do anything, but those guys were beaten easily, so cool. Royce. But do you know that I killed 2 of them? The opponents were murderers, but I also had done similar things. Sirius. It doesn't matter. Aniki did it to protect us. I respect that, but things like being scared is absolutely none. Royce. What an honest disciple. However, a child who is deeply moved by the dreadness of mine, and he directs a gaze of yearning wholeheartedly. However, the honest words and eyes let me feel relieved. I am aware that it was difficult to being protected in this fight. Although it is difficult this way, Aniki always watched us from the back all the time. Royce. Don't worry about it. That is my role and it's enough for you to understand it. Sirius. Aniki, I will absolutely become strong to the extent of standing side by side with Aniki. Although it is frustrating to lose this time, I learned a lot. Royce. Oh, will you tell me one? Sirius. Yeah, Royce. During that time, he became emotional and acted violently, but he became calm when he remembered his failure and reflected on it. Although there was target that he should have protected, he went out alone. He swung his sword with all his strength. When he was drowned within his transformation's strength, he reported it one by one. Judging from his appearance, Royce didn't seem to be depressed even though he got defeated. He raised several of his mistakes calmly, and even if I don't follow up, there won't be a problem, probably. I thought so, but I couldn't understand Royce's deepest emotions. I thought the report was finished when he suddenly became silent, and then Royce looked outside of the window with a difficult face and talked bit by bit. Nei-chans were safe, I live, and in addition, I was able to see Aniki's greatness. Besides, since I lost only against Aniki and Lior Jiken, I thought it wouldn't be frustrating to lose to another opponent. But, Royce clenches his teeth hard and he endures from shedding tears, but he couldn't suppress the overflowing tears and spots were spreading on the bed. Why is it so frustrating? Aniki, am I weird? Royce. It is not weird, that is reasonable reaction as a man. Sirius. Reasonable? But for me, I am more annoyed for not being able to protect Ne-chan's. Although, I don't have to compare, but don't you think it's frustrating for me to lose? Royce. I pat Royce's head and so he could stop crying. He lost in the fight, but the enemies lost too and got caught, and all of you survived. When looking at the result, it is a victory, but Royce is not able to understand it. Since Lior and I are special case, I guess he is frustrated to lose to others. But the feeling of wanting to protect Emilia and Reese is the truth, right? Sirius. Of course. I honestly think that it is good for Ne-sans to be safe. Royce. If that's the case, it's all good, right? You mustn't choose one but accept both sides of vexation. And don't forget that feeling. That is because it will surely make you strong. Sirius. I wonder if that is all right? Royce. I also said it to Reese, but it is up for you to decide. But never forget that feeling of wanting to protect Emilia. Why do you want to become strong? Say it one more time. Sirius. That is because of wanting to protect Ne-chan. Royce. That's right. Therefore, let the wound heal and become strong again. As long as you wish for it, I will accompany you all the time. Sirius. I got it, Royce. Royce wiped tears out from his eye and he had much stronger eyes than before. Royce, you are strong child. Someday, you will surpass Lior and me. Until that time comes, I'll be watching you from nearby and it can't be helped but to enjoy it. I left Royce's sick room, I sat down on a chair installed in the hallway and let out a breath. This chair is probably for people who come for a visit, but it is awfully big just like a sofa. I might have lost my disciples in this incident if I handled it poorly, but I'm glad that they are all safe. The disciples who are aware about being defeated will become strong again. The disciples didn't become broken-hearted and scared until they couldn't fight. They are truly reliable and strong disciples. I am glad to have them as disciples. But, I am a bit tired as expected. I went berserk and fought with all of my power, and fatigue accumulates on my body after maintaining boost for a long time. Fatigue attacks may be because of the reaching a point where I could rest, and to be honest, it's going to be difficult to return on foot. I will return home afterwards, so let's rest a bit and go home. I set a timer in my head to wake up in 15 minutes, I closed my eyes and I leaned my back on the chair. Reese. After parting apart from Sirius-san, Emilia seemed to sleep comfortably when I saw her. No, that is beyond being comfortable, and she seemed happy. Sometimes she laughs while muttering Sirius-san's name, she seems really happy. What on earth did he do? I looked puzzled unintentionally. Then, I arranged the flowers that I picked without making sound and I left the room quietly. Next is Royce's room, but has the talking finished soon? When I went in front of Royce's sick room with flowers, Sirius-san was sitting on the chair in the hallway. Sirius-san? Reese. Sirius-san does not react even when I call out to him. When I began to worry and I got close to him, Sirius-san was sleeping while sitting down. Although, I got to know this person and 2 years had passed, this was the first time seeing a defenseless figure of him. However, it can't be helped. He came running to rescue us and he fought with strong opponents and then cheering us up, so he is tired, of course. Emilia said that this person has strong wariness, but he is defenseless to whom he trusted. Does that include me too? I had become interested to test it out. When I sat down quietly on the chair a little away so as not to wake him up, Sirius-san did not get up. I have a feeling that his body moves a bit, but the closed eyes remain as it was. I am glad that I am also someone that he trusts. I am really happy with that, and I could continue to look at Sirius's sleeping face for a while. I feel like going together when I am with him, truly a mysterious person. He is very strong even though he is just 1 year younger than me and he knows everything. I respect this person to the extent of calling him with honorifics naturally. His height is slightly higher than me. His body is trained wonderfully, but he is smaller if I compare him to adults. However, his back looks great when looking from behind. That is a child's back no matter how I look at it, but when I get to know him, the back of body looks big and reliable. Emilia and Royce yearn for him and I understand their feeling of respect's enough. Is that you, Reese? Sirius. I'm sorry, did I wake you up? Reese. It's bad, I got too close and woke him up. Though he was taking rest with great pains, I had done a bad thing. No, I got up on my own. I would had woken up immediately if you were not there, Reese. Sirius. You'll wake up if it's not me? Reese. That is because I don't really fully asleep. I would be vigilant if it's not Reese and others, wouldn't that be natural? He laughed when he said so. He allowed such behavior if that was with me, but I felt really happy with his words. Emilia and Royce are going to stay here and I am going back to Diamond Cottage soon, so how about you, Reese? Sirius. I think I will return to the student dormitory after seeing the condition of those two just a little bit more. Reese. Is that so? I'm sorry for leaving soon. Sirius. Yes, and Tu-sama also said thanks. Reese. Tu-sama? Am I not your Chichi-oya? Sirius. That is not it. Ha. Reese. Well, if someone has a child like Reese, I think they will definitely be happy. Well then, I see you tomorrow. Sirius. Yes, I see you, tomorrow. Reese. Laughing brightly, Sirius-san turned his back on me and I saw him off. I think when he is with an adult and teachers nearby, the back of his body cannot be compared with them. A person called Tu-sama is, I am sure he will become such person. I haven't met him even once, even looking at the back of his body, and he is definitely not my real father. Maybe, I will talk with him about things with me soon. But if I talk about it, the present comfortable room will change to something scary. But still, I don't want to keep this secret no longer to Emilia, Royce, and Sirius-san. That's alright, if compared to today's dreadness, isn't it still easy? If it's them, they will accept it. And I believe they will accept it without changing. I made up my mind. Even if I regret, I have to walk forward.